for today's cup of coffee with Scream.
Oh.
There's been a lot of people screaming today. Lots and lots of people. So much screaming. Reeing at the sky. My God. Kid, I actually had started watching part of a movie that Newcastle After Dark. They have some amazing older movies, and I love those guys. They call themselves The Management. And I think that we've done cups of coffee before about their channel. If I remember, I will put a link to it so that you can go and watch some of their things. I had watched The House That Dripped Blood again the other day, which is one of the... I like the movies that have the vignettes.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with them. They got some good shorts.
And that one was really cool because there were several references to Christopher Lee. And in one of the vignettes, it did feature Christopher Lee. And then they had this one about a vampire, and they're like, yeah, it's not like this new guy that's coming on the scene. Which was from the 70s, and it was, again, referencing Christopher Lee. So he obviously had a really good sense of humor.
He had to have.
Even though he played a lot of the, a lot of the British horror movies had just an essence all their own.
Yeah, it did.
Which movies used to do that, and now they don't.
No,
but
movies don't really have much of a personality of their own.
No, they don't. And so I had started watching one last night, and I'm like, I was asking Kid, I'm like, have we seen this one before? And at first we couldn't remember it. And yes, indeed, we had. If I can find the name of it, it's Whatever Happened to Aunt Alice. And this was from 1969. And at one point, and it was pretty early on in the movie, this crazy cackling laugh.
Yeah.
Which we've heard lots lately in real life from other people.
Yes.
Who shall remain nameless on this podcast.
On TV.
Yeah.
I will get really close to the edge, but I will not say who it is.
No, everybody knows.
Watched it.
But anyhow, and I'm like, damn, I know that laugh. And it's like, what is it? And so Kid tells me, and I was not aware of this, there is a subgenre of, I think they're under as far as thrillers, according to IMDb, and it's called Psycho Biddy.
Yep.
Crazy old ladies. And it's like, how did I not know that this existed?
Right.
Because I should have known.
You should have. I expected you to know out of all the people.
I really, and I did not. I did not know. But this, Whatever Happened to Aunt Alice, it's worth watching. And it's worth watching more than once. But it's just, and there were so many of them. And
there's a lot of offshoots of Whatever Happened to Baby Jane.
Yeah, that was some of the key ones within Psycho Biddy. Watch me say Psycho Billy, because that's like we need to have Hillbilly Moon Explosion playing in the background.
Yes.
That would be good. And what group was Sparky with?
Demons Argo.
Yeah.
Which I try to look them up on Spotify, and none of their stuff is on there.
Is Sparky still alive?
I don't know.
If he is, it's going to be a miracle. It truly would.
God love him. God love him.
But in Psycho Billy music, I mean, it's...
Psycho Biddy music?
No, Psycho Billy, which we would have gone in the background of the Psycho Biddy. That's the reason with Sparky. Sparky was a character. Oh my God, he was a character. But
he certainly is one.
So as some of these actresses aged out of the sex symbol category, there wasn't a lot of room for some of them at that point in time. And so then they got into the Psycho Biddy.
Betty Davis was never considered a sex symbol.
Yes, she was. When she was young, she certainly was. But she and Joan Crawford are your primary ones that go into the category of the films, the Psycho Biddy.
Yeah, they were the ones that kick-started it.
My God, I don't know that Joan Crawford was that far from it in real life.
No.
Now, I'd like to think that Betty Davis was not, bless, because she had this really... She was salty.
Well,
she was salty.
You know that Betty Davis's daughter did a book on her.
Oh God, did she? Was it as bad as Mommy Dearest?
It was called My Mother's Keeper. It was not. She did that to get in on that. What was her name?
Crawford.
The daughter of Joan Crawford.
I don't remember what her name was.
Christina.
Yeah. Okay.
Christina Crawford. It was anywhere close to Mommy Dearest.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just that Mommy Dearest, they'll scar you.
Yeah.
It really will.
It's an iconic film, but it will fuck
scar
you
the
up for
shit
the
out of
first
you.
run.
Yeah. Yeah. And then it's no wire hangers. Ooh.
Yeah. Loves it. Loves that movie.
Anyhow, within this genre, and there were quite a few movies that I have adored for years and never realized that they were within this category. And one of the main ones, and I should have figured it, Sunset Boulevard. And that was from 1950. And that was, I'm ready for my close-up, Mr. DeVille.
Oh, yeah, I have watched that.
God, that is such... Norma Desmond was the character's name.
Uh-huh.
And so many... The best one as far as Carol Burnett, when she did her spoof on this. Carol Burnett was brilliant. I mean, she really was. She was great. But her doing that, but yeah, I mean, if it's been a while since you've watched Sunset Boulevard, go back and do that. And then, of course, what Kid had already mentioned, Whatever Happened to Baby Jane.
Love.
That's another one that will mess you up.
Love that movie.
And it was from 1962. Betty Davis, how could you not...
Betty Davis and Joan Crawford. And let me tell you, the way that character looked, that was all Betty Davis. Mm-hmm. She designed that character that way. Did her male makeup, did her clothes, snagged that wig from I think it was one of Joan Crawford's old wigs.
And that rivalry between the two of them, and both of them were such good actresses.
Yeah.
But that always trying to one up. My kung fu is better than your kung fu. You know, it was just all that. But those two together, and you know how horrible must it have been to work with these two in some other kind of capacity during these movies, if it was director or wardrobe or anything.
Well, Betty Davis was already known for being hard to work with, but usually that was because, no joke, if she did not do anything as far as edits for those movies, they would have been shit.
Right.
They would have been absolute shit if she did nothing to fix the script, to fix the way that the character was played or whatever.
She never got into directing, did she?
I mean, she pretty much
But I mean, as far as officially, because a lot of times the actors and stuff like that will go on to direct.
No.
So she was a perfectionist, is what it was.
Yeah.
She knew what worked and what didn't.
Yeah. Like, she knew that the way things worked, the way lighting, everything. She knew how it worked.
Yeah.
And so... But
and
yeah,
so
the
Crawford was just a bitch, or what?
Joan Crawford, she's just...
I think she was psycho. Like I said, I think that Psycho Biddy was... You automatically think of her.
Well, I mean, If you ask the other children, I don't even know what's the son's name?
I have no idea. I do not.
And then there's the other two. I watched something about the other two. They said that Joan Crawford never treated them like that.
So it was just the first kid.
Yeah, first two kids. Yeah.
Okay. Well, she sort of bought those children, didn't she?
All of them.
Okay.
All four of them.
This is real life. This is real life.
Yeah.
And then they've got one that...
Wait. As far as Bette Davis was so petty, and that's the thing, that also riddled her career. She was just needlessly petty.
Okay.
Because this was also during Mommy Dearest was the time that Joan Crawford was the head of PepsiCo.
Oh, okay.
She had a Coke machine. Bette Davis had a Coke vending machine installed on set.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
That is hilarious. I can see that. I can see that. All right, I don't know whether I've seen this one or not. It's called Dead Ringer, and it was from 1964.
I've heard of it, but I never watched it.
Yeah, I've heard of that one too. And again, that's Bette Davis. And then, Kid and I, we don't know. Honestly, we can't remember if we have watched this one or not, which means we need to go back and watch it again, which is Hush, Hush, Sweet Charlotte. And that was from 1964.
Yeah.
Now, I've heard that, referenced many, many times. But like I said, to truly sit there and remember it, I don't. And then there was kind of some of them that I had no idea. Now, the Whatever Happened to Aunt Alice, that was, let's see, I was trying to look and see who it is. That was the Geraldine Page.
Geraldine Page?
Yes. And damn, she's good.
God.
She is so good in this role.
Yeah, it's insane how well she suits that role.
Yeah, and it's like, then there was one that was called The Witches. I'm not familiar with it. I wasn't sure whether this one would really fall into Psycho Biddy per se. And that was 1990, the movie Misery. That's a painful movie.
That would not go into Psycho Biddy.
I didn't think it did either, because at the time that, let's see, was it Kathy? Yeah, it was Kathy Bates. She wasn't old.
No.
And the character that she played was not old. So this is just Psycho. This is not Psycho Biddy.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to see what's her name again?
Who? Kathy Bates?
Yeah, Kathy Bates. If you look at her now, she's on American Horror Story almost every season.
I always liked her acting, because whatever she was in, she played the character just top notch.
Yeah, she plays the character as well. Really well.
But the movie Misery was painful.
Yeah.
Dude.
So was the book.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I did both of them.
It's misery to read it, to watch it.
It's one of them, it's like, yep, one time will do you. That's it.
Yeah.
Enough for a lifetime.
It's like, dude, how can you write this and not cringe?
God. Who has that inside of their psyche that they would write something like this? Did you ever wonder that? I mean, really?
Right.
And there was one from 1972 that is Whoever Slew Auntie Roo.
Whoever Slew Auntie Roo.
Uh-huh. And it's sort of along the same line of the one that we have been watching, and I can't remember the names of them. Whatever Happened to Aunt Alice. It's sort of in that category, and we have watched it before. Only, now this lady, she did Psycho Biddy really, really well, and that was Shelley Winters.
Oh, God, yeah.
Oh, God, you're another one. It's like, I don't know if that's really acting.
Yeah.
I think she may just be that way.
It's a possibility.
Yeah,
it's a strong possibility.
But that one was another good one. Here's another Joan Crawford. It was called Berserk. And I have seen that one, but not enough to where
Berserk, Straight Jacket.
that's the one. Okay. She was the owner of a circus.
I haven't seen that one yet.
I have. In 1967. And then on the other list was What's the Matter with Helen? And I was looking to see, that one's got Debbie Reynolds in it and Shelley Winters. So we will have to watch that one. That was 1971. They were, as far as Dead of Winter, I don't remember that one, but it has Roddy McDowall in it. And I liked Roddy McDowall a lot.
Roddy McDowall.
And then they mentioned one that was called The Attic. And it's got, I'm not familiar with these people, Carrie Snodgrass, Ray Milnard, and Ruth Cox.
Gesundheit?
You're really... And then again with the Hush Hush Sweet Charlotte. They did mention this. I don't know that this one is Psycho Biddies either. Just because you've got an older actor or actress does not make it Psycho Biddy. They've got burnt offerings on this.
Yeah.
Betty Davis's character was not psycho.
No, it wasn't her bit exactly. That was the Psycho Biddy.
And Karen Black was not old enough to go into Psycho Biddy.
No.
We need to do a whole podcast about Karen Black. Because now that lady was just made for horror movies. She truly was, and she was so good in them. I don't know that she could have worked in any other genre of movie. I mean, that was just her shtick.
Yeah.
The Beast in the Cellar. Here's one. The Watcher in the Woods. And I don't remember if I have actually watched that one. I know that Mom, that's one of her favorite movies. And that one has Betty Davis in it.
Mm.
Die, Die, My Darling. And this one has Tallulah Bankhead in it. We will have to look for that one. That was from 1965. And Tallulah Bankhead was one from way back in yesteryear as far as actress.
Okay.
There's just a lot of them on here. I'm not going to go through the whole list. And then, like I said, the whatever happened to Baby Jane. My God, that time that she lifted the cover off of that plate that was supposed to be foods.
Those rats.
Yeah.
The remake was horrible.
Of course. Why would they even try? Who in their right mind could sit there and go, yes, we're going to try to outdo Betty Davis and Joan Crawford? And it's like, no, you're going to ass it up. Go over there in the corner and sit down for a minute. Think up your own stuff.
I mean, literally. And for a while, like, Betty Davis was known as the Queen Bee.
Mm-hmm.
Like, legit, like, she knew her shit. She knew how to make successful movies, for the most part. I mean, she did have a few bad movies. But, you know, those were kind of out of her control.
Right. That was probably studio's fault and not hers.
Yeah. They were known as, like, titans.
Yeah. They truly were. That was back when Hollywood was truly Hollywood.
Yeah.
Not whatever this abomination that they have that it's become today.
No, they actually had to... it was a very competitive thing.
Sure. Sure it
was.
It's
not so much that now.
No. It's just... it's something at this point, it's run its course.
Yeah.
It truly has. And I think that's where AI will just put them all out of a damn job, and rightfully so.
It's possible.
Here is one of kids' favorites with Joan Crawford. Straight Jacket.
Straight Jacket. Yep. And you know, Alfred Hitchcock wouldn't even allow those heads to look as fake as they did in that movie. But damn. I will not say that it was a good movie. I will not say that. But it is campy. It is fun.
It's one of those drive-in theater movies that are so good.
Yeah.
There is a place for those things. Here's one that we had watched off of Newcastle after dark that does have Bette Davis, and it's called The Nanny.
Yeah.
It is so good, and I don't want to give any spoilers away on that. I really urge everybody to go and watch that.
The Nanny was good.
It's got a lot of plot twist.
It does.
Lots.
It's a brain breaker.
It is a brain breaker, but it is good. So good. Yeah. So that's all we're going to say right there. They've got Berserk again, Dead Ringer, Lady in a Cage. I don't know. Some of these people, they're just, well, of course they are. They're just doing their own thing. But yeah, Psycho Biddy. Who knew?
It's a genre.
Who knew?
Yeah. Go watch some Psycho Biddy movies. They're awesome.
Absolutely. We've got enough stuff that is brain breaking going on in real world. So just go and watch you some cool stuff. And honestly, the dynamic between Joan Crawford and Bette Davis,
there's nothing like it.
There is nothing like it. I mean, that tension it's tangible. But it is so good. And it's amazing how well they worked. They used that to their advantage to create the art.
Yeah. And there actually was not... Like, there is some, like, tabloid drama, whatever the fuck. A lot of that shit was not true. What they put in the tabloids as far as drama, it was just rumor, speculation.
Well, it was press.
Yeah. Honestly, though, it was not really all that dramatic on set of Whatever Happened to Baby Jane.
Well,
it was not as dramatic as people said.
I guess it depended on who.
But they did not like each other.
Also, now they really hated each other.
Especially when it came to, it was either the Academy Awards or the Oscars or something like that. Bette Davis swears that Joan Crawford campaigned for her not to win.
That's highly likely.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's a tremendous amount of politics and all that stuff also.
Yeah.
What was it? I'll let you say the Bette Davis line about about Joan Crawford's death.
Yeah, this was like close to one of her last interviews. It was like, well, my mother always told me to speak good of the dead. Joan Crawford is dead. Good. Good.
Oh, what a hoot she was.
Yeah.
What a hoot. Now, if I had to pick between the two, if I had to be around one of the two, I would pick Bette Davis. I really would. I think she would have been somewhat easier to get along with than Joan Crawford.
That's the thing. Bette Davis was a lot kinder to up-and-coming actresses.
Mm-hmm.
She was a lot kinder than Joan Crawford ever was.
I think the fact that, and even as she aged, Bette Davis it was not a detriment. She didn't necessarily see it as a detriment because she had the ability that she could switch different movies.
Yeah.
She wasn't opposed to it. I think that Joan Crawford sort of resented being relegated to the Psycho Biddy type movies.
Well, possibly because that was not...
She thought it was beneath her.
Bette Davis and Joan Crawford are two different types of actresses.
Mm-hmm.
Joan Crawford is not a character actress.
No.
Bette Davis was.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what she always was. She loved those roles.
Yeah. And she was so good at them. And honestly, in Burnt Offerings, and I do think that was the last movie that she was in before she died. She did such a phenomenal job with the role that she had.
It was not the last movie. She was in the process of filming a movie.
Okay.
And then died halfway through filming.
Yeah. But now she was old, wasn't she? Was she in her 80s or 90s?
Somewhere up through there.
And to keep working.
She was just happy to be on set.
Yeah. Oh, she loved it. She loved the craft. She loved the art of acting. Mm-hmm. And like I said, she was so good at it. But yeah, Psycho Biddy.
I honestly, like you said, if you wanted the two, which one would you prefer? Joan Crawford Betty Davis. I would pick Betty Davis too. Betty Davis is a better.
She had a sense
actress.
of humor.
She did.
I don't know that Joan Crawford did.
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know. Of any of them, she wasn't Psycho Biddy. She was just hilarious, and that was Phyllis Diller. That was a comedian back during that period of time.
Yeah.
She was
With
a
the
great
hair.
human being. But yeah, do not be a Psycho Biddy. But as far as the laugh on this movie that we're referencing,
It'd be perfect for Halloween.
well, that's true. That is true. But
Psycho Biddy Couture.
the laugh on whatever happened to Aunt Alice. It's about 15 minutes in was what I had watched, and it was just like, oh God, I know that laugh, and everybody knows that laugh,
Yeah.
and it sort of freaked me, but just a little, just
Like, oh shit. Oh shit.
it's happening again.
It's come for me.
And you
It's
sort
come
of get
for
that eye twitch thing going.
It's come for me.
It's come for us all. That's what's horrifying. Final thoughts, kid.
Psycho Biddy. One of the best genres of horror movies.
Yep, fun stuff.
Yeah.
Happy, spoopy stuff. If you've had experiences
Burnt Offerings was not a happy, spoopy movie.
you can turn it off. That's the thing. You have control over the spoop. Yeah. That's the
No
thing.
shit. No shit.
If you've had experiences with the paranormal, supernatural, encounters with UFOs, aliens, cryptids, tinfoil hats, if you have favorite Psycho Biddy movies that were not on these lists, please put those in the comment section.
Yeah.
There you can send us an email, cupofcoffeewithscream@gmail.com. I am way behind on emails and stuff again. I'm sorry.
It's alright, you've been busy.
Life happens.
Yeah.
Life happens.
If you like this video, check her out on BitChute, Rumble, YouTube, Orlando's Cup of Coffee with Scream. Also check her out on X, previously known as Twitter, Orlando COCWS. Subscribe, comment, like, share. Thank you all for joining us, and have a good.
Know that you are loved. Treat other people the way that you would like to be treated. If you know a Psycho Biddy,
Are you a Psycho Biddy?
give them a wide berth.
Are you a Psycho
You
Biddy?
can just sort of cross the road to get away from some of those people. I know people like that.
Tell
that
me
I do
none of
that
y'all
with.
are Psycho Biddies. Don't be a Psycho Biddy.
Don't be a Psycho Biddy.
Like, they're fun to watch on TV, but not.
Not in real life.
No.
No, those are the ones you kind of, like I said, you cross the road
gotta
so
watch.
that you don't have to encounter that.
Scoot and boot, head down. Long bang, heavy powder, head down, no spook. You
That's it.
scoot and boot right.
Absolutely. You look down and act like you're looking at something on your phone. That can prevent. No, I didn't see you. You stand there. No, I didn't hear that. I'm sorry. I got a slight hearing loss.
Yeah.
There's little white lies to prevent an assault charge. They can use what you can for the occasion. Anyhow.
To prevent an assault charge.
Yes.
Or, what is that? A police report.
Yes. Incident report.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't make them have to do more paperwork than I already do. Lord willing, we'll see you on
Don't
the
be a
next-
witness.
Lord willing, we'll see you on the next cup.
Bye.